Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Healing. This is Sinette Tarangela. Hope that everyone is having a beautiful evening. Wanted to come forth and do a brief review of the movie 1917. And I must be honest to say, my kids and I plan to go to the movies and we were doing some things, and then we wanted to go to a movie that was the plan. However, we did not have a plan as to what movie we were going to go see. So when we got to the theater, there wasn't much there that they wanted to see. So they declined to go with me to the movie. Although I was very interested in seeing the movie 1917 because previously, early in the year, it seemed to be very interesting. I didn't necessarily like, yeah, that's definitely something that I want to go see, but the movie looked very interesting, and the person that was taking, reservations for the movie said it had very good reviews, and I wanted to see it. So later on that day, I did go back and I looked at the movie. Weren't too many seats left, but there was one for me. Anyway, the movie itself, I'm not going to give a lot of details of the movie, but the movie was basically about World War One. I didn't look at any reviews before I went to see it, but the movie was about World War One and two soldiers that had orders to deliver to the general so that they could stop the war, basically, not giving too many details about that. And I work for the VA hospital. I'm a nurse for a VA hospital, and you hear all kinds of war stories and different types of lessons and reviews. And of course, I haven't talked to any veterans about the movie yet, but it will be interesting as to if they have seen it, what they thought of the movie. But the movie, I felt, had great cinematology. I think Sam Mendes was the cinematologist, and he did an excellent job of making you feel that you were actually there. And if you haven't figured out, I'm very much so into cinematology, theatrics, etc., etc. I don't have any formal training in it whatsoever. I'm learning. I'm still in kindergarten with it, but I love doing it. When I was a younger child, I used to put on shows for my sisters, and I will invite them in to make shows for people that came to our house to visit. So we would sing, we would dance, we would recite poems, etc., etc. This is something I've done ever since I was a little girl. So I don't know, but anyway, the cinematology was excellent. You actually felt that you were there from actually, it was something different about it. Me being that I've seen a lot of movies in the theater, is something that you are automatically engulfed into, and you can actually feel that you're in there in the trenches with the soldiers. You running with them through the mud, you crawling with them through the mud, you walking over dead bodies with them, you in the water with them, you running from explosive with them. You develop all of these emotions and feelings that make you a part, of the movie. The acting was pretty good too, but way beyond the cinematology. Um, I can go on and on about that because I believe it was a wonderfully made film, and the actress did a great job. And I wouldn't be surprised if there, of course, were some Oscars that's going to be delivered. Now, I can't necessarily remember the actors' names in the movie. And like I said, I can't give too many details, so I give away the movie. But these soldiers had orders to deliver, and that was their mission. If you know, or if you are a soldier and know the importance of following through with orders, you do what you got to do no matter what. I'm not going to give the details or anything like that. But World War One was very horrific. I've heard a lot of stories from, of course, the older veterans about World War One, and I'm not a history buff. There's so many her stories and contraindications, etc., etc. I don't put a lot of cadence and what's real, what's true, what's false, what's part or whatever. And like I mentioned before, when I go to the movies, I don't go for, lessons. I go to be entertained, unless I feel that movie is teaching me something. But I'm not a historian. I don't claim to be. I don't study history because there are so many versions of history. But as far as being entertained, I would say it's definitely the best movie of the year. So, well, it's only 2020, but I saw it way in 19 advertising that it would be here. And I don't necessarily like war movies at all. I've seen a couple, but this, I decided to go ahead and see it and just take that journey with the soldiers and see what happens, see if they're able to deliver, follow through with orders. I was not necessarily in the military, but when I was in college, I was what some people call Reserve Officers Training Corps. And just as I was about to go to Texas, it did not happen. So I do have a lot of training, military training. And then now, 23 years working in a VA hospital, I've worked with a lot of veterans and heard a lot of war stories and et cetera, et cetera. So I do have some knowledge of military life and experience, et cetera, et cetera. But the movie, I would definitely recommend it. It's not, well, it is a beautiful movie, but it's not, as they've said before, have different scenes. You at the ball, you in the bedroom, you in the bathroom, you're at war, period. And you're going through with the soldiers as they take that journey to deliver those orders. And it was excellently done. You feel that you are definitely a part of the movie and going through the journey. It's definitely makes you, everyone wants to feel something when they are going to a movie, and this movie definitely did deliver. And I am a movie buff, and I'm very much so interested in cinematology and theatrics, etc., etc. And if I ever would get the chance to further evaluate some of the work of Sam Mendes, that would be awesome because, the way he did that was excellent. That would be, if I buy movies, that would be one of the movies that I would buy and actually study the way he structured his cinematology. Anyway, that's one of them anyway. But anyway, I just wanted to come forth and share the beauty of that movie. I definitely will recommend it. The cinematology was excellent. I enjoyed it. And like I said, I will recommend it. Anyway, thanks for visiting the city. 1917 was an excellent movie. Thanks. Take care.